Today's topic is very exciting for change management and also generally for management. As you can see on the screen, it is about managing the people issue, people management. Uh, so that of course is very important in change management because many time in organization setting we are dealing with other people. Uh, so uh, that makes it very important. And then within people management, we are going to look at various topics. For example, you are looking here power, leadership, stakeholder management. You are looking at communicating, uh, very important. Uh, Training and development, as you would want to look at how to prepare people for managing change. Some type of training might help there. Motivation, as we have been talking about it every now and then, very important. Motivation coming from within, or motivation which you derive from other people. If other people around you are motivated, you are going to become somewhat motivated yourself also. Uh, that happens many times. On the other part, if people around you are lazy, it is very likely that you might also become lazy. Not everyone, but these things happen. Um, and then this one, managing personal transition, personal change management. Yes. So we would like to start from here. We are chapter number 9, power, leadership, and stakeholder management. What is stakeholder management? All the people who have any type of stake in change management. It can be anyone. It can be your consumer. It can be your subordinates. It can be your clients. Anyone. Yes, so I was saying within the organization internally or externally, it can be anyone in the external environment. So anyone who has any type of stake, any type of concern, benefit, any relationship with the change, because we are talking about change management. So you would want to think about those. But even before we start looking at what are some of the things you might read in the chapter when you are ready for that. I'm just going to ask you, for example, help me with this. What do you think is how leadership plays its role when some type of change is happening? What is the role of leaders in change management? How they can support it, or how they can sabotage the process? What are some of the characteristics in a leader which can help change management? What should they do when they are starting change management process? What are some of the things they might want to do before that? What are some of the things which they want to do as change is happening? Once they think that change has taken place, how what should they do afterwards? Anything you would want to say on this? So I'm asking you guys, what do you think? What is the role of leadership in change management? Any thoughts? Anyone through mic or through chat? I've not heard your voices in a long time, so maybe someone would want to say something. Yeah, so question is leadership, how leaders are linked with change management. Why should we care about talking about leadership, different leadership styles when we are talking about change management? Any story you can share when you are going through some type of change, the people who are leading you? It can be anything in your private personal life, like your parents are maybe leading the change process, or some friends are leading some change process. So anything, any story, any insight, anything you think that we might not read in the book, but based on your experience, um, you might want to share, so all of us can learn from what you know from your experience. I think those are some of the things which you might want to add to the discussion, because anyone can go through the PowerPoint slides and read the chapters and all of those things, but the point of meeting online live is to maybe have some type of interaction. Yes, please. So please don't be shy and participate in some type of discussion. Yes, Tanisha, please go ahead.
Sir, I was going to say, as it relates to leadership and change, the leaders are normally the ones who are in charge of driving that change. So they would be responsible basically for implementing it, and they might have to come up with a plan as to how they're going to implement it. They're also responsible for kind of getting everybody else on board with this plan to
Hmm.
effect change.
Hmm. Very nice pointers, Tanisha. Thanks for that. Yeah. Yes, Abby, please go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. So I was saying, I was kind of on the
Hi.
same path as Nisha. Leadership through change. Leaders are supposed to be the ones that initiate the change, right? And initiating that change, they need to motivate their employees or their followers or whoever they're leading to get involved in that change. And they also have to like be a role model. They have to play a part in that change. So it's sort of
Hmm.
a lead example kind of situation. So you want to bring about a change. Let's say you start then and allow others to see what you are doing and to continue.
Hmm. Thanks very much. Thanks very much, Abby. Any other thoughts? Like I'm looking for maybe some experience or any story which you had in terms of change. It can be anything small, anything big, doesn't really matter. But like any practical example of where you are going through some change, or you are maybe you are leading some type of change, and you should be able to think about many things maybe because of these current times. COVID has made so many changes in our life in various aspects, and sometimes we are trying to convince other people to do something differently from the past, or maybe some other people are are sometimes making us um, do something differently. So they are then leading us in that. So any type of um, yes, Nikki, we are talking about what is the role of leaders in change management, and I'm asking you guys that what do you think? What has been your experience looking at different type of leaders? Even maybe you are reading online or maybe international stories that are there. Is there any change management story which motivates you that yes, that leader really led that change very nicely. That leader did this and this and this, which helped manage that change process. What were those things which maybe inspired you, or you said, well, that is very good. It can be in sports. If you are watching sports, you can think about that. It can be politics, international politics, local politics. It can be different businesses. So please think about these things, and if something comes up, please share with us, so all of us can learn from your experience. But as Tanisha and Abby were telling us, the role of leader is quite diverse. They have to lead the change many times. So if they are going to lead it, they would have to plan many things related with people. They would have to bring people on board, like selling their pitch, that this is what we want to do and this is why it is important. Many times people are not going to listen. So what is it that leader is going to do? Like you can look at like simple things like our honorable prime minister trying to is trying to minimize the impact of COVID, and he's asking all of us that stay safe and follow the guidelines. But you know that, I know that if we look around, people are maybe not following. And if you look at the advisory recently coming from Office of Prime Minister, where they are saying that the new curfew time would start from 8 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. It says that because people are not abiding by the rules and all of those things, that is why we will have to bring the time a little bit back. And then the reaction of the wider society, not you guys maybe, because maybe we are educated in one way or another, but general society, what is happening. People are like making different type of stories. They say that in the morning everyone is doing whatever they want. So in the evening, why we have to stop at 8 p.m. and those type of things. And then you can argue that. I'm not trying to say that this is a good practice or bad practice. I'm just thinking about what the challenges leader has. Um, um, if people are not looking at the thing the way leader is looking at it, then it is not going to work. You can take the example of our sessions. Like if let's say I'm leading the sessions, and for me it is very important that you participate in the discussion, you bring your own pointers, we engage in some way, whatever way is possible. Like listening from you, what do you guys think? It is very, very important for me, and I think that is very important for all of us, that we learn from each other, exchange of ideas and so on. So this is how I think. But if you guys don't really believe in that, you guys don't really buy that in, if you don't see any benefit in that, and most likely it is not going to work. So bringing people on board, yes, of course people can be brought on board, but it takes a lot of time to bring people on board. Yes, people can be motivated. I'm not saying that people cannot be motivated, but it takes time, many times. And when people are motivated, it is mostly because they want to get motivated, as we were talking about. I think Kevin was giving very nice examples in the last session, so you can think about those examples. I think he was talking about intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation, like people who are motivated themselves and so on. So these are very, very easy topics on the surface when we are reading them, very easy topics when we are discussing them and so on. But when we try to do them in practical life, when we want to implement them, these simple topics become very, very difficult to really do. And then, when they don't work out, then the staff is not happy with the leader, and the leader is not happy with the staff, and the frustration is there. And once the relationship has gone bad, again, not saying that a bad relationship cannot be mended. Yes, it can be. Even if trust is broken, if someone breaks the trust, it can be brought back. There are steps which can be taken over a period of time that the trust can be won back. All these things are possible, but they are very time consuming, extremely time consuming. And the person who is going to, for example, mend the broken trust, they should be very interested in doing that or for a longer period of time. Then generally people give up very quickly, and the persistence, generally speaking, lack in general people. We think about anything, like how many, is there anything in life where you failed like 10 times, 20 times, and you kept on doing it? Think about it. And if there is anything, please tell us, so we can learn from your experience, that what was that thing which kept you going on and on and on, although it was not working, people were against you, all of those things. But generally people give up. there are so many things which we are we are thinking, what people would say, how society would react, our friends will approve, family would approve, and so on. If you are talking about work environment, uh, the fear of losing the job, and so on. There are so many things. So in all of that, uh, think about the role of leadership. So for example, as these are some things which Tanisha mentioned. I'm just trying to build on that. For example, she spoke about implementation. She said plan, and if you just want to talk about plan, it is a long process. To plan something, it takes time to really think through various things, think through what can go wrong before it has gone wrong, foresee some of the things which might not work, and then plan accordingly. And the resources of the organization, you have to look at that. Time is just one of them. How much time you have to invest in bringing someone on board, um, and after even spending time to convince someone for the change you are trying to implement, what are the chances that you will be successful? What are the chances that people are going to listen to you? And then the environment of work, business environment is such that you have deadlines, you have your competition is coming up with similar type of products, similar type of offerings. You want to catch the customer before your competition. All of those things are also going. um, so so in all of that, you should think about that. What are some of the characteristics in a leader which might help in mitigating these challenges, so you can um, so you can um, so you can uh, maybe incorporate those changes in yourself. Not changes, the characteristics, then maybe you can incorporate those characteristics which can help. um, what do you think, what would be those characteristics which a leader should have to do all of these things? Um, and then Abby was talking about um, role modeling, like, so that is maybe one characteristic that you want to portray, the qualities, the habits which you want to see in others. That is interesting. Um, Initiating motivation. Abby was talking about that. Let's see if someone. Role of leadership is to be a motivation to staff member in general, and to set an example that others can follow. Nikki saying that others can follow that example. Same as Abby mentioned the same thing, which she used different words, role modeling. To endure workers, um, efficiency and effective at their given task, ensure that workers are efficient and effective at their task, right type of hiring. We were talking about that when Kevin was giving his examples in the last session. But let me come back to the question I am trying to ask. So the next thing I would want to listen from you is, what do you think? What are some of the characteristics in a leader? What are some of the characteristics which you are developing in yourself, that when you are in that position of leading some type of change in your private personal life, or at work, or with friends, or in university, wherever you are, it can be small change. What are some of the characteristics in an individual which can help them to lead change, and that type of thing? Any thoughts on that, please? Yeah, so this question is simple, but it requires some type of reflection. What characteristics you would want to develop in yourself, which can help you to lead these type of changes where so much is required from you? What are those characteristics? What are the top 3 or top 2? What is the must-have in a leader when they are trying to lead change? Of course, you are If you run a Google search, you will find many answers to this. When you will read the book, there are many answers. But I'm not looking for those answers. I'm looking something which comes from you, from your experiences, what your heart says, what your mind says, that a leader should have what type of personality or characteristics when leading change. Any thoughts? Okay, so Nikki is saying charismatic, very interesting, charismatic. If they are charismatic, what would happen? If they have charisma, then people would want to listen to them. They might get impacted by what they are saying, how they are saying, their body language, their voice tone, the choice of words, the pace of speaking, how they look, how they dress, how they behave in wider society. Uh, that can help, and you have seen it across the world that charismatic people, the people become. But the thing is that how to become charismatic? If you and me want to become charismatic, what how to become that? Is it something which is naturally there in people, or they work on it, and over a period of time they gain those quality, charismatic, being charismatic? uh, how to be charismatic? uh, what are some of the things you might want to uh, work on? That is interesting question to think about. So for example, honorable Obama, um, I found him very charismatic when he used to come and speak in the audience. Uh, like I would listen to his talk, just like that, uh, and how he's saying it, and his body language, and all of his demeanor. I would listen to that. So that his speaking ability made him charismatic for me. How he could speak well. So now speaking well is it something which is God given something, or you can learn it over a period of time? Some people can say that yes, it is maybe a God given thing, but if you work on it, then if you work on it, yes, you can improve your speaking skills. Nikki is also talking about interpersonal skills. Those are also something which can be worked on. Empathy, for example. Maybe you have not gone through the same situation which the other person is going through, but uh, this is a great characteristic for a leader, that without going through the situation themselves, they can relate with the situation, um, uh, put themselves in the shoe of the audience. That is very interesting and important and useful characteristic for a leader to have. um, like reflect in your own life. Do you have empathy, like when you are like maybe on the road and maybe you are driving or taking public transportation? Do you always look at the people who have more than what you have? Like if you are on public transportation, are you looking at people who are driving cars? And if you are driving a regular car, are you looking at people with more fancy cars? Or you are maybe, if you are driving a regular car, and the people who come and to wipe your windscreen, you are looking at them, and you are maybe saying thank you God for whatever you have given me. What type of personality you have? So it is both things. You can look either way. It is as one friend was talking about, I think, in one of the sessions. I don't remember if it was this cohort or some other cohort. Someone mentioned mindset of what is our mindset. That really that point really stuck with me, and I have been thinking about it lately. mindset, how important it is. Like it is the same situation, but how we are going to view it as a follower or as a leader or as a participant in change, that is going to make all the difference. Like, like this example which I'm trying to give you, like no matter where you are, which situation you are, you can, through your mindset, you can make yourself happy, and you can make yourself sad also and miserable also, depending on how you are processing that information. So from this point, you can think about empathy, like looking at. I'm not saying we should not look towards the people who have more than us in anything, in terms of tangible or intangible things. Like you can get impressed by someone who has maybe more knowledge, and they give you good ideas to think about. You can get impressed from that. So there is no money involved in that, but so you are looking up to someone. Or anything, you can even to look at someone who is richer than you. I personally don't think that there is any problem in that, because that might inspire you. Like, if it depends on what thoughts you are having, it might inspire you to work harder, and maybe you want to learn what are the things they did and how you can replicate those things in your life, and maybe become better in whatever area you want to look at. But same side, like having empathy, like looking at people who does not have those things which you might have, looking at the things from their perspective. um, um, like I remember I was traveling with some people some time ago, and in the car we were passing through some farms, cattle, agricultural land, and people were working on it, and so on and so forth. And we were in a very nice, comfortable SUV, and the air condition was on, and we had our drinks in our hands, and we were chatting, and good time we were having. So, and we are going through that underdeveloped area. Um, and it was a hot sunny day, so you can imagine that the people who are working on the farm, it's not easy. So someone sitting in the car said that what a fine day it is. It is nice breeze going on, and very nice, and this and that, and look at that, and it's a very, very nice, beautiful day. So some other friends sitting in the car, they said that yes, it is a nice day for us, but if we were outside working on that farm like those farmers are, it might not be as nice as it is for us right now. So that made me think a lot of things, like, because we were in a different mindset, and it's the same road, is the same place, but the situation is different. So yes, so so think about these type of experience in your own life, because if I just tell you, it might not go to your heart. But if you think about your own life experiences and observe, you should be able to find things about these. So empathy is very important in change. If you are a leader, you are leading, maybe you don't have those type of problems which your workers have. Maybe simple problems. It can be simple problems. Like I remember, I had some sessions where the session would end at 9 p.m. I remember from it is pre-COVID. I remember pre-COVID. Pre-COVID times. So this session was like, I think 6 to 9. So there were I remember there was one friend sitting in class, one participant, and she would leave like 8 p.m. So, and I am generally, I'm trying generally building up in that course. I was generally building up, and I would build up the things, and then more important and interesting conversations in the last hour and so on. That was my way of doing it at that time. He would leave like no matter what is happening in the class or how interesting is the debate and everyone is participating, and he's going to leave at like 8 or 5 minutes before 8 and so on. So I was not happy about that. I did not say to her, but later on had a chance to speak with her, and I said to her that why you leave at 8? What is going on? It is not like every time you are leaving at 8. So she said that it's a public transportation thing. So because she has to take public transportation, and if she is late, then wherever she was going, I don't remember where she was going, but she linked it with public transportation, and that made me okay. I said, all right, no problem. Uh, but now think about it. Uh, if I was leading that class, I did not know, or I did not realize that this is the reason why the person is leaving at some time, and that person also um, did not try to convey that to me. Like, if could have said that, all right, I would be leaving at 8 or something like that before the session, or through email, or there are so many methods. So I was thinking what I was thinking in my head, and she was thinking what she was thinking in her head, because she said, well, it is understood. It is like, you should know. And then I did not know. So that time, and if I would not have asked her, then I would be thinking about her in a different way. But as she told it to me, I quickly understood, and so on. So this now, as a leader, when you are leading some people, or some people are leading you, you have to be mindful about these things. This might sound very small, but in work environment, or where you are working in teams or something like that, these small things, if they are not communicated well, um, what I'm trying to say is, don't take for granted that the other person would know what you know. It is not like that. You might think that the other person know it, but if it is important, it is always good to convey it. Because even if they know it, when you will be telling them these type of things, it will create some type of relationship, some type of bond. And in change management, these relationships which you create in good times, they help you manage change in bad times. Yeah. So please think about these things. Okay, Abby is saying, I think it is something that is innate. For example, charisma. Okay, Abigail, good point. Many people think that um, charisma is innate. Yes, I would like to agree with that. I have no problem with that. If you guys think that charisma is innate, but I'm trying to reflect on something else. What I'm saying that, yes, maybe charisma is innate, but if we do not have that innate thing, if we don't have that charisma, then is there anything which we can do to build some charisma? Maybe we won't be as charismatic as the person who has these innate things, but there must be something which maybe we can do. So I'm not debating if charisma or other qualities are innate or they are not innate. I'm not debating that at all, because researchers have done their researches, and they have found that what is innate, what is not innate. Uh, Maybe there are many qualities which people say that they are born with these qualities, like genius, for example. You are genius, so maybe you are born with that genius, or you have some things, and you are born with these. I'm not debating that at all. Yes, of course, everyone is not equal. We might want to say that the world should be equal, but that is not how it is. it is not right now. Like if all the members are equal, all these 18 people are equal. Yes, we would like to say that everyone is equal, but everyone is not equal for different reasons, from from like where, in which family they were born, or what their parents do, what life situations they have. All of those things make us unequal. We say that all of us are equal, but we are not. So same way, when we are born, what type of genes we are born with. Our father is a ganja addict, or is someone, anything wrong. You can, if you think ganja is wrong, then this example would work. But I don't know what you think about that, because then some people think that ganja is good for mind. So there are different things. What I'm trying to say is that you are born with genes. Yes, but the point I want to reflect on is that if we don't have those characteristics which are innate, can we do something to improve them to some extent? Like, let's say we are not genius. Let's say we are not genius, and Abigail is genius, and Tanisha is genius, and Nikki is genius, and Kevin is genius, and Joanne is genius, and we rest of us are not genius. Let's say these people are genius and we are not genius. Can we do something to become a little bit, maybe can we work more harder? Can we maybe read more books than these people? Maybe can we have more intelligent friends? Can we do something? Can we spend less time on TikTok? Whatever, and do these things. That is what I'm trying to say. That but this is controversial, of course. Of course, people are born with some things, but those are some people. Rest of the people don't have those things which those some people have. So what should we do? So it is again about mindset. What do you think about that? If you will think that, so now I'm not debating that charisma is not innate. I'm not saying that at all. Maybe charisma is innate, but I'm saying it. What is your mindset? If you are going to think that yes, charisma is innate, or any characteristic like that is innate, and if you don't have it, then you don't have it, then it is different mindset. But on the other hand, if you think that yes, some people have more charisma than others, but what are the things they have? How do they dress? How do they walk? How do they behave? What words they use, and so on. If we can maybe think about those things and try to maybe bring those things in our life, maybe we can have some type of charisma. Maybe, I don't know. These are something open to debate and discussion. You should. Yes, so I was saying that as the name of the chapter is power, leadership, and stakeholder management. So we tried to have a little conversation on leadership. And there were many questions which were raised, which I think you should think about them, reflect on it, and maybe try to develop some characteristics which might help you in change management, in general management also, not just change management. Same way, you should think about stakeholders, like all customer, consumer, clients, employees, workers, wider environment. Same thing, you should think about the role of power. How power can influence change management. This enforcement of 8 p.m. Curfew how are they enforcing it? They are using some form of power also. So yes, the Honorable Prime Minister comes and he explains the situation and everything, but then they have given the law enforcement units some power, some authority, which they maybe did not had before COVID. They have certain powers which can help them enforce the law, whatever it is. That is power. So you can bring change through power also in that example of stopping people at 8 p.m. But as I was trying to talk earlier, that many people in our society, they think that uh, COVID is not real. They are not taking the precautions even now as we are speaking, and so on. And they are debating that why 8 p.m. What happens to COVID in the morning? If you are not blocking in the morning, then why you are blocking early in the evening, and so on. All of those things are part of the discussion going on. But then it is also enforced by power. Still, you would see, if you get a chance to go on a busy road at 8:30, even 9, you would see people driving. You would see. It is not that everyone is. You are still seeing people are breaking the rules of having more than X amount of people for party, for player, hangout, all of those things. Those things are happening. So then the role of power, using power to influence change. So as in that example, yes, power can help in managing change. Yes, I was saying that in my viewpoint, that is not the real change which is influenced by power and these type of tactics. Uh, yes, in some situation, people would have to engage with these type of methods, but the real change is, as Tanisha was saying, that when you are able to bring people on board, they buy in the change and they take the ownership of the change, and they think that that change is important for them. Only then I think the change is going to sustain for a longer period of time. Otherwise, if as long as you have power, people are going to listen to them. But if they have certain power, then they might want not to listen to you, and so on. So these things you might want to think about. So those were some of my thoughts, which I thought I should share with you. So chapter number 9, page number 105, power, leadership, and stakeholder management. Yes, so this section, please pay attention to this. The first paragraph, read it very carefully. Organizations as political arenas. It is going to talk about politics going on in different type of, what happens. There are different groups in organization, different people like different type of people. So I think you should read all of this section, at least to the bullet points, like these bullet points. McCall asserts that the constituencies that are more powerful are those that, these are some of the constituencies, or the people, or the cohorts, or the group. So you can look into these pointers, like for example, which are not easily replaced. This is one of the bullet points. So yes, if someone is not easily replaced, of course they are going to exert some type of power, and they can also take the change initiative in the way they want to take it, support it or resist it, because they have their power, and the power comes from not being easily replaced, and so on. So you would have to read these things and make sense of them, and don't just link with what I said today, or you guys mentioned it today. These things are building on the past chapters, so everything you have to take perspective from the previous chapters, and so on. This section, please pay attention to that. Stakeholder management, identifying and influencing individuals and group who might support or resist the change. So as you might want to think about the planning phase of change management, in that you would want to think about individuals and groups. Who are the people who are going to support you? Who are the people who have some type of influence in the group, who are well respected, and so on. These things which if you can look into these things, then of course it helps you. Uh, those people can become your change agents, if you remember this terminology from previous chapters. Yeah, these things are important, so please look into this. You would have to read them and reflect on them, and then think about your own life experiences and so on. This figure is interesting. Classification of key stakeholders, sponsors, blockers, people who are going to support it, bystanders, there's going to, bystand there, helpless victims, meddlers. Look into how they are explained in the book. Should be fine. And you should be able to, think about these without even, maybe reading, just from the words a little bit. Of course, you have to read, but I'm just saying that just looking at the words, you can think about it. Like beneficiaries, there are some change. There is some change going on, and there are some people who are more beneficiaries. There are more people, they are bystanders. They are maybe not actively participating in the thing, and so on. But you need to look into these terminologies and prepare accordingly. This is an exercise 9.1. Try it if you have time. You might learn a thing or two. Here they start talking about the role of leadership in the management of change. Something I would like you to pay attention to this in this when you are reading. Of course, you are reading full chapters, full book. Yeah, please be mindful of that. Look at this. Management is concerned with the maintenance of the existing organization. Leadership, on the other hand, is more concerned with change. This creates a tension between doing things right and doing the right things. Yeah, tension between doing things right and doing the right things. So that again depends on the leaders, different leaders. For them, things are very different. Just like I spoke about leadership, and just like I spoke about charisma, I'm sure if you're going to talk with someone else about charisma, they might say different things to you. They might say that charisma is something which you cannot incorporate it yourself, and they might show you some study which shows that people who are charismatic, they have naturally those things, and I'm not disputing that at all. Yes, no problem. But personally speaking, I don't want to think like that, because I think that then I'm limiting myself. That is how I think. So, but you have to think yourself. If you think you are not genius, and if you think that genius is someone who is just born with it, and by working hard on ourselves, and by reading more books, and having intelligent friends, and not wasting our time and putting it to productive use, that cannot bring us to some type of genius, then that is your call. But of course, I totally understand that if God has given someone some gift, we cannot compete with that. That is fine. If someone, it is just like some people are more beautiful than other people. It is just like that. It is just like that. So yes, it can be some girl who God has made her beautiful. We cannot do anything about it. It is God has made her beautiful, so she is beautiful. Everyone is going to say she's beautiful. But what I'm trying to say, that if there is a regular girl, average girl, but she's well groomed, she keeps her hair nicely, she keeps her things nicely, she exercises, she eats well, she knows how to have a good conversation, she's not like messy or dirty, or she's clean and all those things. Yeah. So she's like sophisticated, and she takes care of small things like, odor of the body and those type of things. And so she's you might find her beautiful too. Yeah. So yes, maybe she cannot compete with someone whose God has made beautiful. Yes, but it is not about competition. So if someone is genius, they might have to just study for half an hour, and they are okay with the chapter. But I'm just saying that most of the people are not genius. So what should they do? They might want to spend 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours on that chapter. So yes, they will be fine, I think. And I have seen that myself also in many situations. I have seen uh, people who are kind of genius and God gifted, but they don't work hard, and they don't pay attention to their gift, and that gift is gone after a while. On the other hand, I've seen average people, very average people, and they, by working hard and by having good habits and those type of things, they change their lifestyle, and they change their anything, they change their grades, and so on. So many things are coming in my mind. But yes, those are my thoughts. Think the way you are comfortable, and think the way it makes sense to you, because many things which I said, I totally understand that there is research which says against it, but I think hard work can help in many ways. Uh, but that is your mindset, how you want to think about it. Deciding what needs to be done, for example, look into this heading. Pay attention to these pointers about managers and leaders. These 2 pointers under deciding what needs to be done. And then next one is this: developing the capacity to do it. Capacity. How managers look into it, how leaders look into that. These are nice bullet pointers which you might want to read and reflect, and try to uh, think about these things. What is the idea of discussing all of this? The idea of discussing all of this, that what type of person you want to become, which would have the characteristics which would help you in any type of leadership role. When you will have power, how you are going to use that power, how you are going to have empathy, how you would be able to relate with other people who have problems which you don't have uh, all of these things. So it is for that, I think, ensuring that it is done. Look into this, very nice bullet points. They are important. I can go through them, but I think you should read them and reflect on them, and reflect on the things which I said. And you don't have to reflect on everything. Reflect on any point which you found interesting to think about. If you did not find anything interesting at all, you don't have to reflect on these things. These things are not marked, or there is no mark for this, but they will help you if you will reflect. So that is your call. This paragraph, very interesting. Make note of this right after the bullets. 4 bullets, recognizing, and if you will, when you will read it, you will realize that we have discussed these in previous chapters, in one way or another. So should be recognizing and rewarding success. For example, we were talking about it one time. In change management, you recognize what people are doing. Even if they failed, but they had a good plan, and they did all the due diligence, and they did what is in their control. after doing all of that, if still they fail, then what should you do? Should you punish them? Well, they did what they did, what they could. The intention is not bad, but even in good intention, people can make mistake. So how to look into this? Search online, you will find many organizations. For example, organizations that reward failure. Just run a Google search on that. Organizations that reward failure. Yeah, so I'm just doing it for you guys. Yeah, so you're going to find these companies. If you're going to read on that, GE, they are talking about. Most creative companies are the ones that celebrate, failure and so on. Why failure is the best competitive advantage, and these are good sources. Forbes, INC, yeah. So you have to look into that. Secret Google Lab reward staff for failure. BBC report 2014. Even from maybe you want to look into that. BBC. Yeah, reward staff for failure. When they fail, they reward them. This is what this article is going to tell you. But of course, the failure is not like you just fail without planning, without thinking about it, without reflecting, without doing your job. It's not that type of failure. This failure is different. This failure is when you have planned and you have done all the work which is required, and then after that something goes on which is not in your hands, and then you fail. Then maybe you want to celebrate it. Yes. So these type of stories you're going to find. So this was this recognizing and rewarding success, one of the bullet points. Of course, they are not talking about what I showed you, but I'm just building on what is already, what you will already look into the chapter. I think someone is okay. Randisha is saying yes, because they say hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. Oh, very nice. This is interesting line. I like it. I hope I can memorize it and use it next time. Hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. A very beautiful, precise line. Those who don't have certain talents can definitely work hard to ensure that they achieve what they want. Persons who also have to work harder towards their goals appreciate value of. This is very interesting point. I did not make it. Randisha is giving us this point. Persons who also have to work harder towards their goals appreciate value of success more. Very interesting point to reflect on. So hard work is definitely something which has many benefits, even if you don't become successful, because whatever you would gain from that, you are going to appreciate maybe more because you worked hard for it. But I think a little otherwise, not to dispute with what Randisha is saying. She's absolutely right, and I love the lines and how she wrote it. So the idea which is in my mind, going on in my mind, is that if this is the case and this is true, this is not wrong, research support it. You can find, if you run the Google search on this, you will find many research reports seconding what is written by our friend here. But what I'm trying to say is that if this is true, then we should be mindful of this, because then what reflect in your life, look at the things which you did not work hard and you have those things. Maybe you have a secure house. Many people don't have those things in Jamaica. Maybe you are supported by your family. Many people are not supported by family. Maybe your parents bought you a car, or they are paying for your tuition fee, or whatever it is. So think about that, because generally people would not think about it and take it for granted. So we don't want to be those people. We want to enjoy those things which we got by luck or by chance or by God. thinking that we earn them, like like it is our thing. It is not just a gift, we own it, like yes, we have it. If we have that type of mindset, then chances are that it won't go wasted. Because look at this line: if hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard, but talent will work hard when talent will recognize that uh, if I don't, um, if I'm not thankful of my gift, then the gift will be taken away from me. So yes, I am talented, I have charisma and whatever, but if I start in bad practices, then this will be taken away from me. Uh, but if I worked hard on it, then I can maybe stand out in the crowd. So that type of mindset, maybe. But beautiful lines. Thanks for that. I think someone raised their hands. I think Joanne or someone. Please go ahead if you want to say something.
Yes, sir. The I think the time passed because the paragraph where that's important. Me did want to take back a quick look on it, but me do it on my own time, I guess.
Okay, if you tell me, I can go back and we can talk about that if it is very important. Okay, I think Jawan is deciding to read on its own. But anything you are when you are reading the chapter, and if there is anything which you think you want to discuss with me, you can bring it in the discussions in the future, or you can write me an email and we can talk about it if there is anything you want to talk about. Yeah. Okay. A checklist for leading change. Yeah, checklist for a leading change. So Kotter's eight steps in the change process. These are extremely important. I have gone in great length to really speak about these changes in one of the videos. I can direct you to that video, and then you can. I hope you guys are looking at these postings which are already there on Orvally. Outside of the engagement which we have live, there are some pre-recordings, like for example, starting from here. So I have divided them in different dates, and they have the PowerPoint slides and the prescribed text with those chapters. These are here. So I hope you guys are spending some time and listening to them. Why I opened them like in the beginning? So some people want to have a quick pace, and they might want to listen to them like in one go or two goes over a weekend or something. Anyways, this is one of the talks which you would want to hear, and this is linked with this. Kotters articulates 8 steps in change process, and these are the 8 steps here, and I have explained them here. Must watch Kotter's 8-step process for leading change. I think all of us should listen to this talk. It is very important if you ask me, because the guy Kotter is quite a scholar in change management, and he has come up with these 8 steps. And here is my take on these 8 steps, what I think about them. And then so you can listen to this and then read what these 8 steps are here, and then maybe think about these and try to incorporate some of these steps in the change processes which you are going to go through, or which you will lead, or someone else is leading. They are quite simple, straightforward, but very important. For example, step 1, establish a sense of urgency. Tell people that it is important, they have to do it right now, there is no delay in that. Then forming a powerful coalition, having support from other people in the organization, outside the organization, people who back you, who will be change agents, who will not resist what you are trying to do. That type of thing maybe you would want to do, then creating a vision, where you want to go, where are you now, why you want to go, where you want to go. All of those things are part of creating vision. Then they are going to talk about communication, um, communicating the vision, telling people, explaining them why you have that vision, what is in it for them, and communicating in a way which they like, which they enjoy, which makes them understand why you are doing it the way you want to do it. Um, Verbal communication, written, oral, body language, how you communicate with your body. For example, Abby was talking about, I think, role modeling. So role playing, communicating by role modeling. All of those things are part of communicating the vision. Empowering others to act on the uh, on the vision, giving them some type of liberty, some type of job enrichment, job enlargement. These are some of the concepts from MGMT 2008, organizational behavior. Yeah, so making their job interesting, giving them some, authority, power, some flexibility. Those things can help. Planning for and creating short-term wins. Yes, in the long run, um, you might win and you might want to celebrate there, but even small successes on the way, you want to think about that and how they are important, because they kind of reinforce the momentum, reinforce it energizes you. uh, a little, short-term wins, you might want to think about that. Then consolidating improvements and producing still more change. That is the next point. New approach, like, in simple words, whatever the new form of doing the thing is there, new way of doing, breaking status quo, new habits, whatever it is. Now you make them part of the institution. People start doing the things that they start working, they start exhibiting the new habits without thinking. It becomes their second nature. uh, just like when you are learning to drive, you are looking at everything, you are looking where the steering wheel is, where the gear is, where the brake is, what is everything you are looking at, and you are conscious. But as you learn to drive, then you are paying less attention to those things, and uh, you are not really thinking on those lines, because it is your uh, second habit. You have done it so many times, it has, and you are comfortable with it, that you don't have to think about this. So and with that point is important, because think about it, any new thing, and whenever you will start something new, any habit, any skill, any type of thing which is new to you, it is foreign to you, you are going to face that type of anxiety, and you will have to think, and you will have to stop, and you will make a mistake, and all of those things. So in that time, don't get frustrated. Or even if someone else you are leading, they get frustrated, don't let them frustrate, because this is a new habit. Expect that this is going to happen. Expect that. And um, don't think that you are expecting too much from yourself. If you think that you are starting something new, and on the first go you will be like a pro, and you will be like, exceptional in that, generally that does not happen. It takes time and practice and all of those things to institutionalize new approach, and so on. Yeah, please think about that. This is the exercise 9.2. If you can think about that. um, Summary of every chapter, always pay attention to that. uh, uh, But that does not mean you are just reading the summary and not reading the whole chapter. Yeah. And then also references, you can look into references to understand, what type of material is used to prepare this chapter. That gives you some sense. Like, for example, these are journal articles. This is one very established journal, Academy of Management Review. And you can find these journal articles through UV databases. If you go on databases link through your library website, I think UV links, I think they call it. Or if you just search UV databases, you're going to find databases, and then you should go in those databases and read the good quality journals and articles and increase your knowledge in whatever field you are interested in. I'm not trying to say read about change management. No, you read what you are interested in, whatever it is. You might be interested in marketing, you might be interested in human resource, that is fine. You might be interested in some new technologies, and find relevant journals in that and read them. These are free of cost. Universities pay for the subscription fees of these type of expensive journals and so on. But that was a side note. That is it for this chapter. Please think about these things: power, leadership, stakeholder management in the context of change management.